Alright, let's dive into something that's both eye-opening and, honestly, a bit empowering. Here's the deal, a recent long-term study just dropped some serious insights on how we might be able to delay dementia, not by a few months, but by up to 13 years. Yeah, you heard that right. And what's even more fascinating? It boils down to just 3 health factors we can actually control. But before we get into that, let me hit you with a quick reality check. About 42% of Americans over 55 are expected to develop dementia in their lifetime. That's nearly half the population. So, this isn't just some niche health topic, it's something that could impact almost everyone, including you or someone you love. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The study, published in Neurology Open Access, tracked over 12,000 middle-aged folks for 26 years. That's a long time, and it's what makes these findings so robust. The researchers zeroed in on 3 vascular risk factors: high blood pressure, diabetes, and smoking. And here's the kicker, people who avoided all 3 had, on average, 13 more dementia-free years compared to those who didn't. Think about that for a second. 13 years. That's not just a number, it's potentially an entire chapter of your life. Personally, I think what makes this really interesting is how straightforward it is. We're not talking about some exotic treatment or expensive medication. It's about managing blood pressure, keeping diabetes in check, and quitting smoking. These are things we already know are good for us, but this study puts a whole new spin on why they matter. It's not just about heart health anymore, it's about brain health, too. And that's a connection I think a lot of people overlook. One thing that immediately stands out is how these 3 factors are all tied to vascular health. High blood pressure, diabetes, and smoking damage your blood vessels, including the ones that supply your brain. Dr. Anna S. Nordvig, a neurologist, put it perfectly: if your brain isn't getting proper blood flow and nutrition, cognitive decline is almost inevitable. What this really suggests is that taking care of your cardiovascular system isn't just about preventing heart attacks, it's about protecting your brain from dementia. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. The study found that for people with all 3 risk factors, dementia risk skyrocketed from 23% at age 55 to 37% at 75. By 85, only 7% of those with all 3 factors were dementia-free. In contrast, those with none of these risk factors had an estimated 30 dementia-free years. That's a massive difference. And it raises a deeper question: if we know these factors are so impactful, why aren't more people prioritizing them? From my perspective, I think part of the issue is how we frame health advice. It's easy to tell someone to eat better or exercise more, but those vague directives don't stick. What this study does is give us a clear, actionable target. If you're 55 and you're thinking about your future, this is your wake-up call. Dr. Cynthia Colson, a geriatrician, said it best: start with something tangible. Whether it's getting your blood pressure checked, managing your blood sugar, or quitting smoking, these are concrete steps that can make a world of difference. What many people don't realize is that about half of dementia cases are preventable through lifestyle changes. That's huge. We're not talking about a small fraction here, it's 50%. And while this study focused on vascular dementia, the same risk factors also play a role in Alzheimer's. So, by tackling these 3 things, you're essentially hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, let's talk about timing. The study emphasizes the importance of addressing these factors in midlife, around age 55. But here's the thing, it's never too late to start. Even if you're older, improving your vascular health can still slow down cognitive decline. That's a detail I find fascinating. It's never too late to make a change. But, of course, the earlier you start, the better. If you take a step back and think about it, this study isn't just about dementia. It's about taking control of your health in a way that has massive long-term benefits. It's about understanding that the choices you make today, whether it's skipping that cigarette or monitoring your blood pressure, can shape your future in ways you might not even realize. So, here's my closing thought: dementia isn't an inevitable part of aging. It's not something we just have to accept. This study shows us that we have the power to delay it, maybe even prevent it, by focusing on these 3 key factors. And that's not just empowering, it's a game changer. So, what's one thing you can do today to take better care of your vascular health? Let me know in the comments. Because, honestly, this is one of those moments where knowledge isn't just power, it's a gift.